The chef has prepared a terrifying feast that will satisfy the toughest critics. If you enjoy the best, only the best, hit the like and subscribe and devour that bell icon to get the best seat in the house when the chef has prepared a new dish of terrifying true stories. Now, take a seat. Dinner is served. On the night of March 13, 1997, something extraordinary happened in the skies over Phoenix, Arizona, an event that would come to be known as the Phoenix Lights. It was a clear, crisp evening when thousands of residents across the state looked up to witness a series of mysterious lights moving silently across the sky. The first reports came from around 7:30 p.m. in the area of Henderson, Nevada, where a man observed a V-shaped object with 6 lights on its leading edge. As the object continued its journey southeast, it was seen by an air traffic controller in Las Vegas who, though unable to pick it up on radar, confirmed the sighting visually. By 8:15 p.m., the lights reached the Prescott Valley, Arizona. Tim Lay and his family watched in awe as the massive V-shaped craft, estimated to be as large as a commercial airplane, passed silently overhead. The craft was so large it blocked out a significant portion of the starry sky. It moved slowly, almost leisurely, which allowed the Lay family to get a detailed look at its structure and lights. The phenomenon continued moving south, where it was seen by thousands of people in Phoenix around 8:30 p.m. People described seeing a row of lights forming a massive V shape, moving across the sky without making a sound. The lights appeared to be attached to something solid, as stars would disappear behind the structure as it moved. One of the most notable witnesses was then Governor of Arizona, Fife Symington. Initially, he made light of the incident, holding a press conference where his aide appeared in an alien costume. However, years later, Symington admitted he had seen the craft and described it as otherworldly. Despite the overwhelming number of witnesses, official explanations were lacking. The U.S. Air Force later claimed the lights were flares dropped during a training exercise at the Barry Goldwater Range, but this did not account for the V-shaped craft observed by many. To this day, the Phoenix Lights remain one of the most well-documented and compelling UFO sightings in history, leaving many to wonder what really flew over Arizona that night. On the evening of January 8, 2008, the quiet town of Stephenville, Texas, became the center of a UFO sighting that garnered national attention. It all began around 6 p.m. when several residents reported seeing a large object with bright, pulsating lights in the sky. The object moved silently and swiftly, leaving witnesses in awe and confusion. Steve Allen, a private pilot and business owner, was among the first to spot the strange craft. He described it as a mile long and half a mile wide with flashing lights. According to Allen, the object was moving at a speed too fast for any known aircraft and made no sound as it passed over his property. As more reports flooded in, it became clear that this was not an isolated incident. Erath County Constable Lee Roy Gayton witnessed the object while on patrol. He saw a series of bright lights that formed a single horizontal line and then split into pairs. Gayton, an experienced law enforcement officer, was baffled by what he saw. Radar data obtained later by a civilian UFO organization revealed something even more intriguing. The radar confirmed the presence of an unknown object in the area that night, moving at speeds and in patterns that defied conventional explanations. Additionally, military jets were recorded in the same airspace, leading some to speculate that the military was either investigating or attempting to intercept the UFO. Witnesses reported seeing the object in various locations around Stephenville, including the outskirts of town and rural areas. Local newspapers picked up the story, and soon, national media descended upon Stephenville, turning it into a hotspot for UFO enthusiasts and investigators. Despite extensive media coverage and numerous eyewitness accounts, official explanations were scarce. The Air Force initially stated that there were no military aircraft in the area that night, only to later retract this, claiming F-16s were conducting training exercises. This contradiction only fueled speculation and conspiracy theories. The Stephenville sighting remains one of the most significant UFO encounters of the 21st century, marked by credible witnesses, radar data, and the involvement of military aircraft. For the residents of Stephenville, it was an event that turned their peaceful town into a focal point of UFO intrigue and debate. On November 7, 2006, one of the most compelling UFO sightings in recent history occurred at Chicago O'Hare International Airport. The incident began around 4:30 p.m. when a United Airlines ramp employee noticed a dark gray, metallic, saucer-shaped object hovering above gate C-17. What followed was a series of events that left airport personnel and witnesses bewildered. The sighting quickly spread among the United Airlines employees, with several mechanics, pilots, and supervisors stepping outside to get a glimpse of the object. Witnesses described the UFO as being about 6 to 24 feet in diameter, hovering silently in the sky at an estimated altitude of 1,500 feet. Um, the object remained stationary for several minutes before suddenly shooting upwards at an incredible speed, punching a hole through the cloud cover. One of the most remarkable aspects of the sighting was the hole left in the clouds, which witnesses described as a crisp, round opening that slowly closed up. This physical evidence added a layer of credibility to the sighting, suggesting that whatever the object was, it interacted with the environment in a tangible way. The incident was reported to the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, by United Airlines employees, but the FAA initially dismissed the sighting, attributing it to weather phenomena and refusing to investigate further. However, after pressure from the media and UFO researchers, the FAA eventually released audio recordings of conversations between United Airlines employees and the control tower, which confirmed that the sighting had indeed occurred. The Chicago O'Hare UFO sighting remains one of the most credible and well-documented UFO encounters. The combination of multiple credible witnesses, physical evidence in the form of the cloud hole, and official audio recordings make it a significant case in the study of unidentified aerial phenomena. Despite various theories and explanations, the true nature of the object seen that day remains a mystery. In late December 1980, a series of extraordinary events unfolded in Rendlesham Forest, Suffolk, England, that would become known as one of the most compelling UFO encounters ever recorded. The incident involved multiple sightings by U.S. Air Force personnel stationed at RAF Woodbridge and RAF Bentwaters, two military bases in the area. The first sighting occurred in the early hours of December 26, 1980. It was a quiet, cold night when Airman First Class John Burroughs and Staff Sergeant Bud Steffens were on patrol near the east gate of RAF Woodbridge. Around 3 a.m., they noticed unusual lights descending into the nearby forest. Initially thinking it might be a downed aircraft, they reported the sighting to their superiors, who dispatched a team to investigate. Staff Sergeant Jim Peniston, Airman First Class John Burroughs, and Airman Ed Cabansag were ordered to investigate the strange lights. As they ventured into the forest, they could see a bright, pulsating light ahead. The forest was dense, and the air was filled with a peculiar static electricity, making the hairs on their arms stand up. As they got closer, they saw a triangular craft, approximately 9 feet across the base and 6 feet high, hovering just above the ground. Peniston and Burroughs approached the craft, mesmerized by its appearance. The craft was metallic and smooth, with strange, hieroglyphic-like symbols etched into its side. Peniston later sketched these symbols in his notebook, which included shapes resembling letters and numbers, but none that he could identify. The air around the craft felt charged, and a low humming sound emitted from it, adding to the surreal atmosphere. Peniston, in an act of extraordinary bravery, decided to touch the craft. As he placed his hand on the surface, he felt a warm sensation and a tingling, static-like effect running through his body. He also noticed that the craft seemed to react to his touch, with the lights intensifying slightly. After several minutes, the craft began to lift off the ground, moving slowly at first, before accelerating rapidly and disappearing into the night sky. The entire encounter lasted around 45 minutes, but the men felt like time had slowed down during their close encounter. The next day, December 27, 1980, Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt was informed of the incident. Skeptical but curious, Halt organized a team to investigate the site. That night, he led a group of servicemen, equipped with Geiger counters, radios, and a tape recorder, into Rendlesham Forest. As they approached the location described by Peniston and Burroughs, they noticed indentations in the ground, forming a triangular pattern and higher than normal radiation levels in the area. As Halt and his team continued their investigation, they observed strange lights moving through the forest. The lights were described as red and orange orbs, darting between the trees and splitting into smaller lights before rejoining. At one point, a bright white light appeared and moved towards them, illuminating the entire forest. Halt recorded his observations on a tape recorder, which captured his astonishment and the tense atmosphere among the team. During their exploration, the team also noticed beams of light shooting down from the sky, seemingly from a larger craft, hovering above. These beams appeared to be scanning the ground, moving methodically across the forest floor. Halt's tape recording captured his voice describing the beams as laser-like and searchlights, adding to the mysterious nature of the encounter. Over the next few days, the story of the sightings spread throughout the bases, leading to various theories and speculations. While the official explanation suggested the lights were due to a combination of a nearby lighthouse, stars, and natural phenomena, many of those involved remained unconvinced. Peniston, Burroughs, and others who witnessed the events maintained that what they saw and experienced was not of this world. Years later, Peniston and Burroughs both underwent hypnosis to recover more details of the event. During these sessions, Peniston claimed to have received a telepathic message when he touched the craft, containing a series of binary code. He wrote down the code, which was later analyzed and translated to reveal a cryptic message involving coordinates and dates. The Rendlesham Forest incident has since become one of the most famous and well-documented UFO encounters, often referred to as Britain's Roswell. Despite numerous investigations and extensive documentation, the true nature of the events in Rendlesham Forest remains a mystery. The incident has left an indelible mark on those who witnessed it, and it continues to be a topic of fascination and debate among UFO researchers and enthusiasts around the world. Throughout the 1980s, the Hudson Valley region of New York was the epicenter of one of the most prolonged and widely witnessed UFO waves in history. The sightings began in late 1982 and continued into the early 1990s, involving thousands of witnesses who reported seeing a massive boomerang-shaped object with multicolored lights. The first major sighting occurred on the night of December 31st, 1982. As people were celebrating New Year's Eve, motorists on the Taconic Parkway noticed a large object moving slowly and silently overhead. Witnesses described it as a V-shaped craft with a series of bright, multicolored lights. Some estimated the object to be as large as a football field, moving at a leisurely pace and often hovering in place. The object was seen by dozens of people who pulled over to the side of the road to watch in awe. As the sightings continued, a pattern emerged. The object was frequently seen around major highways, residential areas, and even near nuclear power plants. One of the most remarkable aspects of these sightings was the sheer number of witnesses, which included police officers, pilots, and other credible individuals. In 1983, the sightings increased in frequency and intensity. On March 24th, hundreds of people in the town of Yorktown witnessed the object. Among the witnesses was local police officer Andy Sanchez, who saw the craft up close and described it as having a metallic structure with a complex array of lights. The object moved slowly and silently, making no noise even as it passed directly overhead. Sanchez, who had served in the military and was familiar with various aircraft, was convinced that what he saw was unlike anything he had ever encountered. One notable witness was Dr. Bruce Cornett, a geologist and paleobotanist, who began documenting the sightings in detail. On one occasion, Cornett and a group of fellow researchers set up cameras and other equipment to capture the mysterious craft. They recorded footage of the object, which showed a large, triangular formation of lights moving silently across the sky. The footage revealed that the lights were attached to a solid structure as stars were blocked out when the object passed overhead. A significant sighting occurred on July 24, 1984, when the object was observed near the Indian Point nuclear power plant. Security personnel at the plant reported seeing a large V-shaped craft with bright lights hovering near the facility. The object remained in place for several minutes before slowly moving away. The incident raised concerns about the potential security implications of such a craft being able to approach a sensitive location undetected. In response to the growing number of reports, a group of local UFO researchers, led by Dr. J. Allen Hynek, began investigating the sightings. They conducted interviews, collected testimonies, and even organized sky watches to document the phenomenon. Their findings were compiled into a comprehensive report that concluded the sightings were not easily explained by conventional means. One theory suggested that the sightings were caused by a group of ultralight aircraft flying in formation as a prank. However, this explanation did not account for the size, speed, and behavior of the object as described by many witnesses. The ultralight aircraft theory also failed to explain the sightings near the nuclear power plant and other sensitive locations. The Hudson Valley UFO wave attracted the attention of national media, and television programs such as Unsolved Mysteries featured segments on the sightings. These broadcasts brought even more attention to the region, and more witnesses came forward with their stories. Among them were airline pilots who had seen the object while flying over the area. They described seeing a massive boomerang-shaped craft with bright lights, flying at an altitude and speed that defied conventional aircraft capabilities. Despite the widespread media coverage and numerous eyewitness accounts, official explanations were scarce. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and other government agencies remained largely silent on the matter. Some speculated that the sightings were the result of secret military tests, but no concrete evidence emerged to support this theory. As the decade came to a close, the frequency of the sightings began to diminish. However, the impact of the Hudson Valley UFO wave continued to be felt. The case remains one of the most significant and well-documented UFO events in history, marked by credible witnesses, detailed reports, and physical evidence. For the residents of the Hudson Valley, the sightings left an enduring legacy and a lingering question. What was the massive, silent craft that haunted their skies for nearly a decade? The Hudson Valley UFO wave remains a topic of fascination and debate among UFO researchers and enthusiasts. It serves as a reminder that even in an age of advanced technology and scientific understanding, there are still mysteries in our skies that defy explanation. The true nature of the object seen by thousands of witnesses during those years remains a mystery, leaving many to wonder if we are truly alone in the universe. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and devour the bell icon. If you have a story you would like to share, send it to creepychefmedia@gmail.com.